Hi, welcome to Financial Express Budget 2018 special series. I now turn to part B of my speech. These words make everyone sit up, take a copy, a pen, and start figuring out how the budget will impact them. To understand how the forthcoming budget can impact your personal finances and the common man on the street, we have with us Mr. Kuldip Kumar, who is leader personal tax at PwC. Welcome. So, if you look at the last budget and all the changes that were announced which were relevant to the common man, did the take-home salary go up or did it go down?
Well, good question. I will say those who were earning salary more than 1 crore, they probably remain not that much impacted. Except that some of the deductions, got restricted, like the interest on the house property. If you are having a second house which you have let out. But those who were earning with between 50 lakhs to 1 crore, actually they got hit severely with that. Although that number was, those kind of number of people in falling in that slabs are, I think, 1,50,000 or 1,75,000 in number. So their take home definitely went down.
Okay, so now obviously everyone watches out for a few key things. One is changes in tax slabs, which excites everyone if it's revised upwards. The second is this perennial expectation of standard deduction being reintroduced. People want their Section 80C investment limit to go up. What are your realistic expectations and what would you like to see in the forthcoming budget so that the middle classes, the salaried, the common man on the street gets some relief after demonetization and GST and all the other changes that have happened?
No, absolutely, you are bang on this. It has been more than a year now post demonetization, or even the GST, and even the giving incentive for the digitized transaction. So it's all well expectations set that government has done enough in terms of expanding the tax base, and there is a lot of focus on the high value transaction. And with this signing of exchange of information with many countries, so that exchange is happening. And I can tell you that the taxpayers are actually getting the notice. Okay, you have account in US and you earned that much interest. Tell me whether it was disclosed in your return or not. So I think government has taken several those steps to expand the tax base, and it's the right time for the existing taxpayer to reap some of the benefit of those measures. So that's why my expectation is that this time the basic exemption limit will get increased from 2,50,000 to 3 lakh rupees, and for the senior citizens from 3 lakhs to 3,50,000 rupees. And for the salaried class, there have been demands pending for many years. I must say that, for example, the medical reimbursement, which was fixed sometime 18-19 years back, is still fixed at 15,000 rupees. So that limit may go up to from 35,000 to 50,000, somewhere in between that. And the leave travel assistance, presently the law is that you get the tax break for 2 journeys within India based in any of the, for any 2 calendars year in a block of 4 calendar years. So this benefit should be given for each year on a financial year basis, and even the international destination may be included to make the Indians happy. And the ATC, the present cap of 1,50,000, and if you see the ATC basically comprises several saving instruments and the expenditure also, be it the tuition fee or the repayment of the principal. So that really require increase in that. It may be increased to 2,50,000 to give that people really save money for their long-term saving. And then both being the working parent, so several companies provide the crèche facility to the employees, so that should not be treated as a taxable perquisite. And I think these are some of the things which are pretty much reasonable from the salaried class.
So these are some direct things. Now there are also several tax anomalies that tend to hurt individual taxpayers. What would those tax anomalies be, and how would you like to see them addressed in the budget?
That's a very good question, and actually this has been the demand for quite some time. The first one actually is the taxation on a notional basis. So assuming that if you are living in your own house and you are transferred somewhere else, and during the part of the year if you let out your house, and then you will end up paying taxes on the full year on a notional basis. This is the actual rent for the period you let out and for the period you stayed in your own house on a notional basis. And similarly, if you have more than one house property and the second house property you have not, you did not rent it out, so still you end up paying tax on a notional basis. So I think this is something with the declining prices of the real estate. This is something they should provide some relief on that. And on the other side, if you look at on the saving scheme, for example, if an employer is contributing to the approved superannuation fund for more than 1,50,000, that excess is taxed as a taxable perquisite. So when the employee get back that money in the form of a periodic payment or lump sum, then this amount is taxed again. So there is a double taxation on that. So these kind of thing, I think it's the right time that the government should look into to avoid double taxation.
So there was this UPA, in the UPA time, there was a direct tax code that came out, which I think, if memory serves me right, was broadly that you would have simple rates of taxation and a lot of exemptions and deductions would go away. And now the NDA government has now set up a direct tax reform committee. What would your expectations be and what would you like to see once this reform happens?
So, well, anything you bring in, and I remember that, many years back when such scheme came, and when they were giving, the higher tax-free income, I mean, the 30% tax, which is now starting 10 lakh, they said, okay, it will apply more than, if you earn more than 25 lakh. So, but they were taking away a lot of deduction exemption which were there. So, it didn't go emotionally well. So, I still feel that whatever the way they come, I mean, it has to go well, but still, the Indians are used to, if I have saved something and in a tax planning way, it should not be taxed. And but I do feel that, for example, there is a elevated use of technology. Now, government has access to my 26 years and practically Aadhaar, phone, everything is linked actually, with a click of button, they can see all my financial transactions. So, I think that benefit now probably should flow to the taxpayer. So, what it could be, for example, I expect that for a salaried class, if they are having only income from the salary and a simpler return, why are they required to file a return actually? They may be given exemption from filing. And I will go in one step ahead that, for example, if I have filed my return and based on all the information the government has, so they can pre-populate my return form, okay, for the next year, for this year, look, this is the source of income and this is the financial transaction you have, based on the 26 years or the other financial record, they can see that. So you may finalize your tax return actually. This could be another way of looking at a simplification. Absolutely. Because we should remember that even the reducing the recovery of tax is also an important point. So today when we are saying government is expanding the tax base and a lot of information, they are coming, they are making inquiries. So there is a cost about that. Somebody is actually asking questions from you. Correct. So I think if these kind of a simplification they can bring into the system, that would be wonderful. Some of the steps are already been taken. For example, the scrutiny, faceless scrutiny, and they did it on a pilot basis. For the last couple of years, they have been doing that, and I think this is absolutely fantastic. I mean, they ask the information on email, and then you exchange that information on email basis, and we have seen this is working well, and that would be a very good step in my view.
What about senior citizens and maybe women? Do you see any special provisions for them, or do you recommend any special provisions for them?
Well, for the senior citizen, they are the worst hit, particularly the saving, the declining rate of interest, and the fact that because of the age they cannot make investment into the riskier investment to garner improve their return on their investment. I think they should be given a tax break on the interest income which they earn. Maybe they can increase the scope of 80 TTA for such taxpayers, and they can include the fixed deposit, the interest on the fixed deposit or the other fixed return saving scheme in that, and the limit may be increased to 1 lakh rupees for such taxpayers. And more, they also have to spend money on their regular medical expenses, such as the medical test or the physiotherapy they have to take, or the eye test they have to take on a regular basis. So it will be good that if they are given a deduction of 50,000 rupees, for such routine expenditure, for which they cannot make the claim from the insurance companies. I know that the government is focused that the richer should not benefit on that, but if not to everyone, at least those who are earning up to 10 lakh rupees, whose income is not exceeding 10 lakh rupees, at least for those senior citizens, I think they should provide such relief. And for the women taxpayers, I think that they are the backbone. Whether we see the number of women you need to have, whether in your organization or in the parliament, I think that will go a good way, that if they are given some tax breaks as well.